day everyone. Today we are going to be following me doing the Cosmo Sculpt that I worked over the last few days. So of course the first layer is the foil, and I've just put a basic wire around it to hold it in place, and then we do a nice thin layer of super sculpey over the top. On top of that we do the basic forms, muscle work and such, so I know what I'm working against. Of course the ears are a bit big at that point, but they're just placement at this point. So I'm now smoothing everything down to make the muscle work a bit more seamless with the skin. This can take quite a long time, sorting out the eye sockets and such, and just prepping the position, everything, make sure it's all good to go. So I'm doing a bit more defined features here now, like putting in the eyes and such, which is actually a different type of sculpey, a white sculpey. I'm just mucky about there, and I'm continuing to move around. So now I'm putting in things like eyelids, bags, the skin over the top of the chest and such, just bulking him up to make him look a bit more formed. Testing out the collar there. Now the collar again is made out of super sculpey, along with the fur. I want to keep all the same material apart from the eyes, so it was better for baking. Now just doing a bit more smoothing around the back. And I think I actually start to do a lot more facial work at this point, because I had to leave him overnight to slightly harden because it was a hot day. One of the hottest days of the year, I think, in 2021, so yeah, he was melting quite a bit. So I'm just redoing the ears now. Now it's the evening and everything's a bit cooler. Doing the hair as well, and I need to remove that collar so I can do the fur underneath the collar. There we go, so it looks a lot more seamless now. And now the long stint of building up the fur. So I'm just using little cones of clay placed over each other to do that nice fur effect. Later on I will be working in the fur a bit more, so it looks a bit more natural. But at the moment I'm just bulking it out, making sure there's enough strands here and there. And it's almost therapeutic, this part, because it means I can just, mooch along, make as many strands as I like, and just do natural placement. Sometimes I have to remove them all, replace them again. It's trying to make it even on both sides, but still believable as fur/hair. And now I'm doing the one to the back. So the one on the back, they are longer and bigger, but they are scooped out underneath, so they're kind of like a claw shape in a way. So it's not too much solid clay there, because otherwise it would crack if I baked it. So I'm just overlaying in there, and I'm using super sculpey glue, and that just allows me to not press too hard on the model, but allows me to just press the cones on top and just let them solidify that way, because it's a lot easier than smoothing and forcing things in. And then I'm using a liquid super sculpey on top, which is for my smoothing, to make all the hair blend in. So at this point I'm now working in the hair. As I said before, I'm using a little bit of Sculpey softener, which is a type of oil, since Sculpey is oil based. And I'm just working in fur to make it a lot more realistic, giving it strands, giving it details. And at this point he is nearly ready to be baked, so I'm just doing all the final tweaks, because I only do the one bake. I know a lot of sculptors do a lot. So here we go, we've now done a primer. I just did a grey primer here since he was a grey model anyway. And I'm just doing the first few coats of white. Now the grey primer that I used was actually spot on with the colouring, so I decided to leave the grey almost like colouring, but I'm going to do a bit more definition later on with browns and blacks. Eyes are always the hardest part, making them look even, but I did pretty good there. So first layer of white's on, I'm doing a second layer now. It's good that it was a hot day actually. And I'm just doing some detail of the spots and things. Now as I said earlier, I was going to use a bit of brown, there's a bit of blue in there as well, that I'm going in between the first strands just to give it a bit more depth. Because he's not going to be a blanket grey, so he wanted to add a bit more definition, bits of older fur, dirty fur, of course doing the same with the white as well. So overnight dry, next day I'm doing a lot more of the details, so I'm doing spots at this point around the back, and doing bits of whites on the tips of the fur just to give it a bit of a shine. I do actually start doing some individual detailing around the face as well, things like whiskers and just the odd bit of hair out of place, and of course all the spots. Now the spots were done with a mix of black paint as well as black permanent marker I had, because it just gave me a different colour to work with, which is quite handy. The collar, I wish I had made with blue Sculpey, because that was a pain to paint, but it's quite nice to do galaxy effect on top. What I don't show in the video here is doing the D-ring and the little name tag. That was done separately as it was done on the hairdryer clay. But yeah, he's nearly there. Here we go, final turnaround. Isn't he a good boy?